Clara's parents, who had been defending her loudly until now, suddenly went quiet. Within a day, they sent out a notice for a family meeting at their house. They wrote that it was important to clear the air and put an end to the drama before it tore the family apart. Everyone knew what it really was: damage control. The family meeting was set for a Saturday evening at Clara's parents' house. The invite had gone out to practically everyone: cousins, uncles, aunts, even family friends who had been pulled into the mess through the endless engagement talk. The wording of the message made it clear. They wanted this settled once and for all. Daniel and I debated going. I was tempted to stay out of it and let Clara talk herself into a corner, but Daniel reminded me that avoiding it would only give her more room to spin the story. So we drove over together. Clara was outside when we arrived. She was pacing in the driveway, her hair disheveled, mascara streaked down her cheeks. She clutched her phone like it was a lifeline, glancing at the screen every few seconds as though she was waiting for someone to call. When she saw us, her face crumpled even more, and she turned her back quickly, wiping at her eyes. It was obvious she was waiting for someone who was never going to show. Inside, the living room was already crowded. Chairs had been pulled in from the dining room, the couch was filled, and people lined the walls. The low hum of whispering cut off when Clara's father walked in. He cleared his throat and said they were gathered because the situation had gotten out of hand. His voice was calm but strained. He turned to Clara, urging her to explain herself. Clara took her spot near the fireplace, clutching tissues. For a moment, she just cried softly, then finally began speaking. She said she had spoken too soon, that she had been misunderstood. She insisted she never meant to lie, that things had simply gotten blown out of proportion. She painted herself as overwhelmed, cornered by gossip. One of my aunts wasn't having it. She leaned forward in her chair and bluntly asked if Clara was engaged at all. Her voice cut through the excuses, pointing out how much confusion had been caused by Clara's announcement, her party, and her vague posts online. Clara's tears flowed harder. She claimed she had been celebrating her relationship, not an official engagement, and that people had twisted her excitement into something else. She held up her hands as if to say she was innocent, that the misunderstanding wasn't her fault. I spoke up then, calmly but firmly. I reminded everyone that Clara had hosted a full engagement dinner. She had dressed in white, flashed a ring, and given a toast. That wasn't a slip of the tongue. It was an entire staged event. The murmurs in the room grew louder, heads nodding. Then one cousin added fuel to the fire. He reminded everyone that the supposed fiancé had reached out privately, denying any involvement at all. He had never been part of Clara's story. The words landed like a hammer. Clara froze, her mouth opening and closing without sound. Her mother jumped in quickly, trying to soften the blow. She said Clara had been under stress, that the pressure of watching everyone else move forward in their lives had made her act out. She asked everyone to show compassion, but the room didn't buy it. Relatives exchanged looks of frustration. Some folded their arms, others shook their heads. Daniel stood then. His voice was steady, carrying across the room. He said Clara was not to use his name or connection to the family in her stories again. He said it clearly. No anger, just fact. Several relatives nodded in agreement, their support visible and immediate. That's when Clara snapped. Her tears turned into rage.